Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Jana Dukes and I am so excited that you are here with me on this journey of self-discovery. Last time we were together, we finished talking about chapter 1. Chapter 1 is titled Loved. In chapter 1, we spoke about what is the definition of love. We talked about God's love and we learned practical ways that we can love others. So today we're going to start talking about chapter 2, which is titled Chosen. In chapter 2, we are going to look at 4 people in the Bible who were chosen by God. And we're going to learn about the character traits that they had to be chosen by God. So the first person we're going to focus on today is Esther. Esther actually is my favorite book of the Bible, so I am so excited to start chapter 2 by talking about Esther. So let's start by talking about Esther's story. So first off, it starts off with King Xerxes, who banished his queen. And so after he banished his queen, he got lonely and he wanted to have a new queen. And so all of his officials had all these young eligible women come to the palace to pretty much be in a beauty competition for his heart and to become the queen. So Esther was one of the women who were chosen to be taken to the palace to potentially become the king's queen. And so in doing that, they were a part of this beauty contest, and they had all these beauty treatments that they had to go undergo. And so she was actually exposed to a lot of people and really learned a lot. But in the end, she was actually chosen to be queen. And so because she was chosen to be queen, that placed her in a position to be able to save her people, right? But the only reason, or a big reason, I won't say only, but the biggest reason why Esther was chosen to be queen was because she was obedient and she listened to the people who were in her life that were guiding her. And so let's talk about that. So here are 3 things that Esther did to put her in a position to be able to save her people. The first thing she did was she obeyed her uncle Mordecai. You see, Mordecai was Esther's guardian. Esther was an orphan. Her parents had passed away when she was young, so Mordecai took care of her. And so before Esther was actually taken to the palace, Mordecai gave her some key instructions. He told her to not share her identity. Do not share who you are. And so Esther obeyed him. The reason why that was really important is because she was living in a foreign country. Esther was actually Jewish, but she was living in Persia, and she was going to potentially become the queen to a Persian king, which is very unheard of if you're not actually Persian. And so she had to be very, very quiet about who she was so that she can actually get in a position to be able to save her people. The second thing that Esther did that was really, really great was she actually found favor with Haggai. Haggai was the official who was over all the women who were brought to the palace to be in this competition for the king's heart. And so she made sure that she was very intentional about listening to whatever Haggai told her to do. And so when she went before the king, she followed his advice, and she only brought with her the things that he told her to bring. And so because she did that, she found favor with the king, and she actually became the queen, which placed her in a position to be able to have a closer relationship with the king so that she could be able to save her people. And so there came a point in time where Mordecai found out that all the Jews were going to be killed. And so he was super upset, and rightly so. So he went to Esther and he asked Esther to plead for their lives to the king. Now Esther was so scared. Well, first off, because she never told him that she was Jewish, and so he didn't even know that he was married to a Jewish woman. But then also, if she went before the king without his permission and he didn't pardon her, she could be killed. So she just was like, I'm either going to die because I'm Jewish, or I'm going to die because I went in front of the king. And it was just so dramatic, and she didn't know what to do. But Mordecai just encouraged her and just said, like, you are in this position for a reason. And so she had Mordecai and all the rest of the Jews pray and fast with her. And so as they prayed and fasted for 3 days, she was able to come up with a plan to be able to save her people. And she successfully saved her people, which was amazing. So what can we learn from this story? Well, first off, we are all chosen by God to be agents of change, right? And so to be chosen by God, we have to learn how to hear God's voice and how to obey God. But a lot of times we don't know how to do that, right? And so, or we're not used to that. And so a practical way to learn obedience and learn how to obey God is by following Esther, by obeying your guardians and obeying your mentors. Esther did just that. So if you obey your teachers, you obey your parents, you obey the people in your life who you look up to, those people will give you good advice. And as you follow that, that will help put you in a position where you can be used by God. But also it'll teach you practical skills and character in learning how to obey God. Because as we can learn how to obey people who are physically in front of us, we can more easily obey God. And as we obey God, God can be able to use us mightily. So I am so excited for us to continue to learn about different character traits we need to learn in order to be used by God. So next time we're together, we're going to talk about Deborah and what character traits she had so that she could be used by God. All right, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.